Hello, welcome back to my craft table. I'm going to show you how to do a granny square. I'm making these squares for a cardigan that I'm working on, and so I just wanted to do a quick tutorial on how I join and do when I'm doing different color rows. So let's get started. I'm working with 3 different colors of yarn. This is the I Love This Yarn brand, and I'm working with ivory, dark olive, and burnt pumpkin. I'm also working with a 4.5 millimeter hook. Let's get started. Okay, my center circle, or my center square, is going to be this green color, the dark olive. So we're going to start by doing a slip knot. And I do a chain 4 circle. If you want to do a magic circle, you're more than welcome to. So we're going to chain 4, and slip stitch back into the first stitch. There we go. Now this is how my granny squares differ than some others. I'm going to start with a chain 4. This is going to be the last post on my last cluster, and then these 2 are going to be the first corner. So that may not make sense until we get around to the end, so just kind of pretend that this doesn't exist. And let's start on our first cluster. We're going to be doing a double crochet. We're going to do clusters of 3. So 3 double crochets. Double crochet as you wrap around, pull through. And I say wrap around, that's technically a yarn under. You can yarn over. I don't think there's much difference, in my opinion. Now we're going to do the next corner. See how this starts to make the first corner? We're going to do the next corner, chain 2. And then we're going to do another cluster of double crochets. 3 double crochets. Okay, starting to see a square shape here. Now this is at this point is where I usually bring my tail around and tuck it in so I can start weaving it in later. Let's do 2 more chains for our corner and 3 more double crochets. All right, last corner, 2 chains. And as I said, this is going to be our last post of our last cluster. So we only need to do 2 double crochets here. 1, 2. Now, as I said before, the first 2 chains of this initial chain 4 are going to be our post. We're going to connect into the 3rd chain to connect our row. So you're going to slip stitch through that and there. Then you're going to cut your yarn and you're going to pull through one more time. Just pull that really tight. You can weave it in later however you like to weave in your ends or secure them. And then I always give my little center a little pull so that it stays nice and tight. Now we're going to be connecting another color. I'm going to go up to the orange color that I'm using. Again, start with your slip knot. Okay, now this is, someone called this double crocheting in the air. So I like to go in where I don't join. So this is where my last row ended and joined. So this, I'm just going to go into over here. I like to space it out a little bit for weaving in reasons. So let's do our double crochet in the air. Now, if I were to try to do this regularly, this would just flop around like this, and you would never catch on, right? So what you're going to do is you're just going to hold this in place with your thumb, wrap around, yarn over, yarn under, whichever way you do it, go into the hole, pull through. You have these 3 loops on your hook. You're going to still want to hold on to this because this will flip around on you and you'll lose it. Go through the first 2. Oh, sorry, I was looking through the camera. Go through the second 2. Let's do that again. I'm going to pull it out so you can see one more time how that's done. Start off with your knot, slip knot. Hold on to it really tight. You wrap around to go in, pull through the first two, pull through the second two. And that's your first double crochet. So let's do our second row. We're gonna do another set of 3. You're always working in clusters of 3 double crochets. So this is gonna be the next corner, chain 2, 3 more double crochets. And that's your first corner. Now going across on the sides now, I do not chain across. I like to leave it snug. I think it gives you smaller gaps in your work, smaller parts of these right here. I call them gaps. So I'm just going to go straight into a double crochet into the next corner hole. Double crochet. 3 of those. Okay, now I need my next corner, so chain 2. Wrap around. There you go. Now we're going to double crochet right into the next corner, no extra chains. Chain 2 for your corner. Another cluster into the same corner. It's going to give you a nice square shape there. Now we're going to get over to this last one. Three double crochets, chain 2 for your corner, and then 3 more double crochets. And then we are at the end, and you can connect your row. So you just go in straight like that with your hook, pull through, snip your yarn, pull through one more time. Now you can tie these in a knot if you want to make sure they don't go anywhere. Just give it a little square knot. I don't really put too much thought into how that looks because it gets covered up with yarn anyway. You're going to crochet right over it when you do your next row. So we have 6 rows in this square that we're doing. So we're going to do our next color. I have 3 colors, so it's 2 rows. Each color gets 2 rows. So find a point to start. Let's do that again. Double crochet right into there. The key is to make sure you secure that first loop that's on your hook so it doesn't flop around. Whoops. Chain 2. All right, we just have the one cluster on the sides now that we're into the 3rd row. We're going to be doing some clusters in the sides now. All right, chain 2. I have a cat about to join us on the table. Get down. Nope. Pepper. Sir, I'm trying to do a professional tutorial here for YouTube. Can't have you crawling across the table. All right, we're going to keep going despite the approaching kitty. Okay, last corner, jump right over there, go all the way. Join there. There you go. Whoops. Snip the yarn. Pull that tight. There's your third row. So you can keep adding and keep adding and keep adding. I will do a different tutorial that shows you how to do it in the same color so that you don't, because when you do a solid color granny square, you don't keep cutting and adding, you just keep going through, and it does join your rows a little differently. So I will do that in a different YouTube video. But you would just keep going and going and going, and repeating that row. Sorry, there's a cat. He keeps inching his way in. He wants attention. So you would just keep adding and joining the way that I did on this row, and you can make this as big as you possibly want it, or you can keep it small, but that's how you join the rows. So just go back in the video, watch how I joined this row, and you're going to keep going around. The bigger it gets, the more side stitches that you're going to have, the more clusters on the side you're going to have. And again, don't chain between those. The only place you want to chain is in the corners. You just chain in the corners. And then just each time you get done with your cluster, just jump over to the next hole and work right inside the holes. And like I said, this could be never ending. You could go make a whole blanket. You can make a whole blanket out of just one, one square. Just keep adding around and around. There are other techniques if you want to join your squares. There's ways that you can join those. I might do those in another video, but there's plenty of other videos. There's so many different techniques to join your squares. My favorite is just a whip stitch. So I always leave my last tail very long, and I whip stitch with its own tail. So anyway, that's how you make the quick and easy granny square. That's how I make it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to follow me on TikTok I'm always doing live tutorials. TikTok, Instagram, and feel free to ask me any questions in the comments if you need. Thank you. Bye.